It's been a few days since we had a news update here at GPFans, but let's bring you some of the headlines coming out of the world of Formula 1 as we move into these last two races of a thrilling 2021 season. And today we're still talking about the incident at Interlagos, as drivers are still confused about what the rules of engagement are on track, and somebody is perhaps trying to curry favour with the stewards, as Christian Horner backs the FIA's lengthy decision making in the last few weeks. I'm Ollie Wilson for GPFans, and this is all the news that you need to know from the world of Formula 1 from the last few days. Just a reminder, hit the subscribe button down below to stay up to date with everything that we do here at the channel. But now, let's get into the all-important headlines. Carlos Sainz wants the FIA to hold deeper conversation with drivers over the winter to clear up the still unclear rules of engagement on track. A large number of drivers expressed concern across the Qatar Grand Prix weekend that they no longer understood how they were allowed to operate on track when vying for position. All of this, of course, stems from the Max Verstappen-Lewis Hamilton tussle at the Sao Paulo Grand Prix in Brazil at the race prior to Qatar, which has divided the F1 fanbase after no penalties were handed out for what some called just hard racing. FIA race director Michael Masi set out the rules in the drivers' briefing in Qatar, but Sainz was still left unsure, as were many others. In terms of racing approach, it is not very clear still, said the Ferrari driver. I think you have heard us already talk about this because we don't know what is going to happen race by race. But as I said to the media, it looks like in winter there is going to be a deeper conversation about how we go racing and hopefully clarify things a bit more. Lando Norris, the McLaren driver, is still trying to work out why his scrap with Sergio Perez in Austria was hit with a 5-second penalty, but the Interlagos incident went unpunished. Asked if he now understood why he was given a penalty and Verstappen wasn't, Norris replied, kind of. Some of the things that we now understand mean that I shouldn't have got a penalty, but also what type of surface is on the outside of the circuit, whether that is gravel or tarmac or whatever, can also have an effect. I don't think it's really fair or true. I think if you want to go on the outside and you're not completely along the outside, which Perez wasn't, he's put himself in that very risky position. That's the only thing that I believe now must have been the difference. He wasn't all the way alongside me. It was like half a car. I gave still a little bit of space for him to back out. It wasn't like I shoved him off. There was no contact made. So from that perspective, there was no reason I should have got a penalty. The only reason I now believe is that there was gravel and not tarmac. Go back and listen to the GPFans Stewards Room podcast, available on all good podcast outlets, and of course here on the YouTube channel, as we discussed after the Sao Paulo Grand Prix exactly what we thought about that incident between Max and Lewis, and perhaps why it went unpunished. But that tarmac or gravel on the outside of the corner situation seems to be one of the key issues at the moment. Let us know in the comments section down below if you think that's fair or not. Elsewhere, and look who is playing nice with the stewards. Red Bull team principal Christian Horner has defended the time taken during FIA investigations in recent weeks due to the scrutiny the F1 title has put on the stewards. Lewis Hamilton's disqualification from qualifying in Brazil this month took almost 18 hours to sort out, while Mercedes' right to review hearing over Max Verstappen's defence against Hamilton later on that weekend took almost 24 hours to come to a resolution. Valtteri Bottas and the Dutch Red Bull driver found out their grid penalties in Qatar for ignoring yellow flags on Saturday's qualifying session just a few hours before the race that Sunday. Now, some have been annoyed and frustrated by the lengthy decision-making of the stewards. Horner has come to their defence, saying the pressure of the close Drivers' World Championship and Constructors' Championship is leading to understandable delays. It's an unusual amount of time, but with what's at stake, there is huge scrutiny going into each of these decisions, said Horner. They're very conscious they want to make the right decision so it doesn't leave them open to scrutiny. So therefore, they are taking their time to come to conclusions. After landing himself in hot water with the FIA for comments made in the wake of learning of Verstappen's grid penalty at Losail, Horner volunteered to attend a stewards seminar. Asked what it would entail, Horner explained, something over Zoom or to answer some questions. The marshals do a great job, so if it can be of benefit, why not? Elsewhere, FIA race director Michael Masi has commented, that Horner volunteered to attend. Finally, before we're done here at GP Fans, the biggest news, of course, of the weekend was very sad news indeed. The passing of Sir Frank Williams, the 79-year-old founder of the Williams F1 team. He leaves an incredible legacy of success in Formula One behind him, and everybody at GP Fans puts their thoughts out to those close to Frank and everybody involved at the Williams F1 team as well. We'll have a special on the legacy that Frank leaves in Formula One later on this week. But Frank Williams passing away this Sunday, age 79. So is Horner now trying to curry some favour with the stewards and the FIA going into these last two races of the season? Of course, we have the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in Jeddah coming up this weekend. Is now Horner just trying to win favour and perhaps give himself an advantage in the mental game over Mercedes and perhaps see some of the decisions try and go his way again in these last two races? Let us know in the comments section below. As always, hit the subscribe button down below to stay up to date with everything we do at the channel as we get to cover these last two races of an incredible Formula One season. Oh, and then we go into the winter and all of the new regulation changes as well coming up. There's plenty to stay involved with here at GP Fans.